Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Cuban Miss Prime, and let me give you an update of what's going on with Panzer Dragoon remake. They got an update to version 1.1, and you can see that you can pick the original soundtrack, and when you click on it, it's gonna pick the rearranged soundtrack. So that's one of the things that was missing at launch when the game came out, and there were a few issues with the game in general in the beginning. The cursor felt sluggish. It didn't lock on before all the enemies. Also, the game was locked at 30 frames per second, which it should have been a higher frame rate. I know the Saturn ran at 15 frames, 20 frames, the original, but that was back then, bro. There's no excuse now for this kind of game to run at 30 frames, especially this kind of game doesn't push anything. I mean, if you think about it, it looks like a PS3 game with high resolution and better textures. So I mean, it's running on the Switch. I don't know how well this is going to look when it comes out on PS4 and Xbox. I just hope the visuals are better. And what's weird about this version also, I hope they fix, is the loading. The loading is horrible. Maybe it's the SD card that I have it on. I have the game installed on the SD card on my Switch. But one thing I do like about this, they did some things right, is I like the cinemas in the beginning. It looks really good. It captures the feel of the original. But we're gonna skip that. Okay, so we're starting episode 1. Let's see if there's more loading here. Yep, there is more loading. And this one's worse, I think. This one's to load the level. The other one was to load the cinemas. But let's see what happens. I just hope they fix the loading a little bit. Okay, so I'm timing this with my watch, and so far it's gonna hit 38 seconds to load this level. Episode 1. 38 seconds, dude. Wow. Alright, let's start. Okay, so far, let's see what happens here. So far, I noticed there's there is a better improvement in the frame rate. Okay, let's go around and kill some enemies. So yeah, I'm seeing a better improvement on frame rate. The sound effects, I had to enable it. I was recording music on it. Sucks that you can't switch soundtracks in the options here while you're in the game. But I mean, I am noticing that the crosshair, it's a little smoother. Actually, a lot smoother, and it locks on enemies faster too. And the frame rate, is kind of inconsistent. I don't know. It's going from 30 to 40. It wants to go to 60, but it can't. I'm noticing that right here. But it's still better than the 30 that was earlier in the game when it came out. 30 is annoying for a lot. For this type of game, it shouldn't be 30 frames per second. It should be higher. Yeah, look at that. It just, before it didn't do that. Before it wouldn't like highlight all the enemies. It will highlight maybe a few and missing a few more. Like 1 or 2. But so far the crosshair has improved. And like I said earlier, the frame rate is improved. Okay, so wow, did you see how fast the crosshair highlighted all the enemies? That was quick. Okay, so here's a pan shot of the frame rate that has improved. You see that? You see how the camera turns really smooth? It wasn't like that before. So I'm really happy about that. I just hope they get to lock the frame rate at 60 with the next update or two. But yeah, visually the games look good. I'm not gonna lie, it looks good. Now there's a scene here that when you go inside the temple, look at the textures on top, how ugly they look. They look horrible. I'm sorry, dude. This is horrible. Look at the walls, and look at the supposed to be windows with reflections or sunlight coming out of there like that. Look how horrible that looks, bro. They need to fix that also. Let's go into photo mode and show you what I mean. You can see the rider on top of the dragon, and they did a good job on that. But look at the textures on the top. That looks ugly, man. Really looks bad. It's almost like, I don't know, maybe it's the engine limitation or something. Like, look at this shot here. Look at the windows over there. That looks cheap. Even the lights, the rays of light coming in looks cheap. And they need to fix that, man. Really. Now, this is the second level, the desert. And let me tell you, this level does look really good. And I remember when I first got this game, in the beginning, I couldn't lock on all the time on the centipede's back. And look at that. It locks on a lot faster. And I can lock on all the enemies now. But I'm not gonna lie, the crosshair still needs a little bit improvement. Sometimes it's hard to, not all the time, but sometimes I have a hard time just trying to point at the enemy. Here's one scene when I tried to shoot at the enemy, and I had a hard time not locking on them but just shooting at them. You see what I mean? It doesn't happen all the time though, but they could improve, more, updated more. And another thing that hasn't been improved yet in the game, it's the shoulder buttons when you rotate them 360. Here's an example. I'm going through this area here, and I have to turn all the way to the right. And what happened is, when you press the shoulder button, you gotta wait for that animation to finish, and then you gotta press it again to turn another view. And I kind of wish I could just tap twice and it'll turn the view right automatically. But there's a delay, like a few milliseconds delay, and it's annoying. But I just hope they do fix it. I know that was the Saturn version back then, but remember, we're dealing with new hardware. It shouldn't happen. They should improve some stuff that were a limitation back then because of the weak hardware back in the 1995. Also, I read some articles about this game that the next update is going to overhaul the entire game, and they're going to add a bunch of good, nice features on it. Maybe some visual enhancements. So here's a list of what features are going to have on the next update or updates. HD rumble, that's nice. 60 frames per second added. Finally, we'll get to play this at 60 without any drop of frames. Input lag reduced, rotation improved. That is great. That's what I was talking about earlier. That there's a millisecond you gotta wait. You know what I'm talking about. Gyro controllers, that's nice. I could use it on the Switch. Use the gyro controllers. It'll be cool. Sound effects are reworked. I noticed that some of the sound effects, not all of them, some of the sound effects are different from the Saturn version. They need to improve that. Several face buttons to fire lock. Yes, that's great. Add more than one. Auto lock system as an option. I don't know what that means. Auto lock system. I think it means to lock. Yeah, I think what it means to lock on enemies. I think you as an option to disable it. I don't know how that's gonna work, because that's part of the play mechanics on the original Panzer Dragoon. So I don't know why would you take that off, like disable it as an option. You know what I mean? I wouldn't do that. That's what makes the game fun, to lock on enemies and shoot your powerful rays at them. So yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna keep you guys posted on updates and make some videos, and then later on, when maybe the next patch will be the final patch, and then I could do a review on it. But so far the game is great, bro. But yeah, I felt a little bit underwhelmed, because what we're getting at launch was a beta. It didn't include everything. And it sucks the way the times we're living in with video games, that everything has to be in beta. So thanks for watching, guys, and if you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe, and I got more videos coming. So you guys take care and have a nice day. Bye bye.